And today, it's official that Henrik Stenson is going to the LIV Golf Tour. But we still have 2 spots available and we don't know who they're being filled by yet. So let's speculate a little bit. My bet for the remaining 2 spots, I'm gonna go Ricky Fowler. He's been laying low. It's time, Ricky, just go. You miss Phil, and you guys were a great Ryder Cup team. This is the perfect time to put on Cats, the memory song from that Andrew Lloyd Webber musical, where cats aren't feral and don't need litter boxes. Keep in mind that not everyone is happy about these golfers going to LIV. Frankie Christo tweets, Henrik Stenson joining LIV Golf is an outright attack on everything the game stands for. You don't poach a 46-year-old Ryder Cup captain who has failed to make the cut in 7 in his last 9 majors unless you're trying to destroy the game's traditions and legacy. Can anyone answer why Henrik Stenson can't still be the European Ryder Cup captain? Is there some criterion that he has to play on the European tour still? If I do recall correctly, wasn't Tom Watson really old when he was captain of the U.S. Ryder Cup team? Was Jose Maria Olazabal crushing it on the European tour when he was captain? I thought they're almost 2 separate types of positions, maybe based on your prior Ryder Cup record and your tournament wins, but at the moment you were captain, or even in more recent history, you didn't have to be associated with any tour or playing particularly well. Because of tweets like that, I'm sure LIV Golf is eyeing 46-year-old U.S. Ryder Cup captain Zach Johnson, who has also won a Masters. Zach Johnson has also won a British Open. This guy is a prime candidate to go to the LIV Golf Tour because imagine if they took both the European Ryder Cup captain and the U.S. Ryder Cup captain over there. Ryder Cup, no more. My final pick is Jason Kokrak. I don't know much about this guy. I do recall that Paige Spiranac had said on her YouTube channel that he was the favorite golfer she's ever played with. Apparently a super nice guy. And if you ever look at his swing and his takeaway, he keeps his right thumb off of the golf grip for a long period of time. A little bit weird, but he apparently crushes the ball. So who am I to judge? Here's the key. Jason Kokrak storms off course after miserable shot with LIV Golf rumors swirling. This is from June 27th, 2022. Apparently, he needed to hole his last shot from the fairway at the Travelers Championship to make the cut. Instead, he crushes it over the green, and then he just walks off the golf course. We all know that the PGA Tour doesn't make public the penalties it imposes on players, but we all know that Jason Kokrak knows if he goes to play another PGA Tour event, PGA Tour Commissioner Jay Monahan is going to try to whack him in the nose with a rolled up newspaper. 2 alternates that I'm going to pick right now are Cameron Smith. It's actually the perfect time for him to go. His stock has never been higher. He can only go downhill from here, really. You might as well strike while the fire is hot. And the second alternate pick I have, Bubba Watson. 2-time Masters champion. You know the LIV Golf recruiting committee love the former Masters champion. If Ricky's there, those guys used to be thick as thieves back in the day. With Ricky being young and Bubba Watson, at that point in his mid-30s, being a straight-up man-child.
To get the thoughts of Rich Beem, who joins me now on the big news today. Rich, that Henrik Stenson is no longer the European Ryder Cup captain. I suppose many knew this was coming, but now that it's official, what do you make of it?
Well, I mean, I think once it's official, it's just kind of what we heard that Jamie Weir broke on Monday, that this was pretty much inevitable. And
there's a whole lot more inevitability on the horizon.
You know, still, you don't want to have the next Ryder Cup on European soil, and you have a distraction, and this is definitely a distraction.
The real distraction will be who's next, as in, will LIV just keep sucking up the European Ryder Cup captains and, for that matter, the US Ryder Cup team captains?
Yeah, how much of how big a blow, how would you sum up how big a blow this is?
Sub-Zero wins. Flawless victory fatality.
You know the way the reporter asked that question. That was the only answer.
To the European team, and I suppose, in golf in general, a sign of the way the landscape is shifting.
Yeah, I think it's more, the way that the game of golf is shaping up, isn't it?
Guaranteed, if Rich Beem was 35 years old, the Beamer would be on the LIV Golf Tour. He seems almost wistful, as if they could turn back the hands of time and give him a spot.
It's unfortunate, but on the European side, but here's the thing, they are in European soil this next Ryder Cup. I think that everybody can, they're going to have the crowd support, no doubt about that. Again, we're not going to field the same team as we had in Whistling Straits.
DJ, who went 5-0 in the last Ryder Cup, Bryson DeChambeau, who was setting off fireworks every hole with his 350-yard drives, and Brooks Koepka are no longer on the U.S. Ryder Cup team unless the PGA Tour comes to its senses and starts changing their attitude.
So I think that from that dynamic, there's certainly I think it gives could be a little bit more of an edge to the Europeans, but it's more of a growing thing for the game of golf in particular, and I don't think anybody's immune to it. Nobody knows who the next person is that's going to decide that that's the best course of action for them. And
you've already seen my picks: Ricky Fowler, Jason Kokrak as the alternates. I've got Bubba Watson and Cameron Smith.
Things like that. Unfortunately, there's all kinds of names and rumors out there that are being thrown around. So
Big Boy Pants Golf is throwing them around based on the rumors. That's the relationship to the throwing and the rumoring.
It'll be interesting to see exactly who decides to join that series next. And is it getting stronger? Yeah, it is. And I think that the PGA Tour and DP World Tour they have their hands full with what's going on and the amount of money that's being thrown at these players. And how do you counteract that? I don't know. I think that hopefully they have a plan in place.
Rich Beem, the way he says, hopefully they have a plan in place, he knows they don't have a clue. And here's why. Let's look at the PGA Tour board of directors and figure out why they are so tone deaf and doing everything backwards. These are from the PGA Tour Media Guide. Here's your 5 board of directors. I did some Googling, and I think you're going to be interested in what I've come up with for Mary Meeker and Randall Stevenson, and it could tie into why the PGA Tour is making very poor decisions. Here's Mary Meeker. If you Google her, it says that she's now a founder and general partner at Bond, a San Francisco-based venture capital firm, and she's known for Internet Trends Report. Every year she puts out this big Internet Trends Report, which she blandly reads out on YouTube. Bond Capital is the company she founded. Here is the first page when you go to the website. And here are some of the companies that are their investments, including DocuSign and Facebook. Bond is also invested in Peloton, and that crashed once Mr. Big died on a Peloton bicycle at the beginning of the latest Sex and the City movie, which I hope none of you watched. Snap, also tanking. Robinhood, Spotify, both way down. And same with Uber stock. The following clip is from a few years ago, and I think it gives a little bit insight as to how dry and uninspiring these PGA Tour board members are. Here's Mary Meeker giving a little sample of her Internet Trends PowerPoint presentation.
I know that was applause for Kara, not for me, so thank you for that applause. So I'm going to run through these slides. Many of you have seen this before, and this is a presentation that's meant to be read, not presented, so the critiques about the presentation style are justified. Here is what we're going to go through.
So she knows that the presentation is going to be super boring, but she also knows that she's giving a presentation and she's up on stage and she just says, you know what, it's boring, deal with it. I'm just going to read this off these slides. Can you imagine her at the PGA Tour board meeting when they're like, why are all the PGA Tour players leaving for LIV? And then she brings out this internet trends report and just starts reading off of it? Ugh. Who blew the dot-com bubble? Nowadays, dot-com bubble would be a mumble rapper's name. But this article is from 2001, and it refers to the dot-com bubble burst. And guess whose name comes up? Mary Meeker. And Morgan Stanley Dean Witter's Mary Meeker, an internet bull lionized by the New Yorker, who was paid $15 million in 1999. The big-name analysts got people to tune in, and many became celebrities in the financial world. The Journal last week whacked Meeker, who pushed 6 stocks, all of whose public offerings were underwritten by Morgan Stanley, that have fallen by 67 to 96%. I had a bad year, she says. You know who else is going to have a bad year? If he makes it a year, is PGA Tour Commissioner Jay Monahan. Things are going south so fast that I bet my buddy $50 that by the end of the British Open next year, Jay Monahan will no longer be PGA Tour Commissioner. So you get it. Mary Meeker, back in the day, in 1999, was paid $15 million by Morgan Stanley Dean Witter. She's pushing these stocks that are being underwritten by Morgan Stanley, and people are snapping them up and they are crashing. When there's the dot-com bubble burst and then you Google Mary Meeker along with that and her name pops up, I don't know if that's exactly who you want for the PGA Tour board. How many times do you think the PGA Tour Media Center had to keep retaking Randall's photo and being like, look less untrustworthy? And then after 20 shots, this is the best they could come up with. Now it starts getting a little bit weird. You know how you have baseball scouts that are looking for baseball players? They're scouting them. Well, Randall was the head of the Boy Scouts from 2016 to 2018. And by that logic of a baseball scout scouting baseball players, well, you figure out what a Boy Scout. And in 2020, the Boy Scouts have some major issues. Randall Stevenson is wearing a Boy Scouts uniform despite being a grown man, and he's proud of it unironically. The only other man I've seen in a Boy Scout uniform, and not in my nightmares, was Benny Hill, and I'm pretty sure he was doing it for laughs.